My papa never told me that, but I found it's right here in this book, and I'm going to tell you it's about Creole. Creole the dinosaur. On a foggy, foggy morning in the land of the swamp, from a battered, speckled egg, Creole was born. She was big and fat and very, very ugly, and had warts on her fingers and warts on her toes, big bony knees and a flat nose. Beneath all of that, which made her so ugly, was the most beautiful heart that ever had beat anywhere in the world. Because of her beautiful heart, Creole thought the most beautiful thoughts. She thought of love, and she thought about happiness, and she thought about all the good things she could do, and she was so tender. She had the most tenderest heart you ever saw. Day in and day out, she would sit alone, sniffing the flowers and talking to the trees in the swamp. One day she was sitting near a large cypress tree, and Creole thought, maybe I should share this love with the creatures in the swamp. So with that in mind, she set off to find some other animals to make friends with. As the noisy swamp could be, with all the animals living there, it would fall silent. Creole walked by. The birds became quiet, the possum sat still, the alligator slipped away. They all thought that because she was so fat and ugly, she just had to be mean too. Creole looked, but she could not find a friend at all. Finally, with watermelon-sized tears falling down to her feet, she sat on a big old broken stump and she cried and she cried. Why won't anybody listen to me? She sobbed. The only thing I want in this whole world is just to have someone to tell my happy thoughts to. The tears rolled over her cheek and bounced off her belly, slipped and slid down the log, and finally landed on a large kerplunk on the head of a baby alligator sitting just below. The little alligator looked around to see who'd been throwing water on it. And when suddenly from above came another large tear. He looked way up and saw Creole, and was he surprised. Why are you crying on me? Stuttered the alligator. Why are you crying? Creole looked down and spied the smallest, most pathetic looking alligator she had ever seen. I'm sorry, she sobbed. I didn't know you were down there. The last thing I want in this whole world is to hurt somebody. Wiping a tear from her eye, Creole suddenly realized that the little alligator had not run away and was actually talking to her. Why did you run? Why didn't you run like everybody else? Asked Creole. Because I hope you will be my friend, stuttered the alligator. The other alligators, they all laugh at me because I stutter and I can't talk straight. No. They looked into each other's eyes and realized that they were what each other was looking for. A friend. For the longest time, Creole and her newfound friend sat and shared their friendship. After a while, Creole said, "It's too bad you don't have more friends. I wonder what we could do to convince them other creatures not to laugh at you and not to be afraid of me." The little alligator nodded his head in agreement, and the two of them tried to figure out a way to talk with the other animals. I know what we shall do, Creole said, with her big, bony, warty hand. I can hide behind a big bush, and you can stand in front. And when all the animals have gathered around, I'm going to tell them what to say. Then you can talk about love and happiness. Well, the little gator reluctantly agreed, with Creole hidden behind a bush and nervously called to the other animals. A couple of times he got scared and he tried to hide, but Creole, she pushed him back out there. Don't be afraid, she told him. Now the other animals in the swamp, not seeing Creole around, knew that it was safe to come out and listen to all that the little alligator got to say. One by one, they all crept from behind the bushes and the berries and the waters of the swamp. There were 4 or 5 big old alligators, a couple of small ones, 2 yellow snakes, a blue one, and 23 birds. But all the creatures gathered around the little alligator. They they began repeating what Creole was whispering to him. He told them about the beauty of the early morning in the swamp. He talked of love and beauty, but most of all, he talked about friendship. All the animals were amazed at what the alligator was saying, for clearly he was saying it. For you see, he didn't stutter anymore. He didn't have to make up what he was saying. He didn't stutter a word. Everything would have been all right if it had not been for the nosy squirrel who happened to peek behind the bush. He saw Creole. Run as fast as you can, it's the ugly creature! Creole was shocked at being discovered. But wait, she cried, I'm not going to hurt you, no. I just want to be your friend. But the creatures wouldn't listen until a wise old owl said, don't be afraid. After all, he helped the little alligator learn to talk without stuttering. Maybe you need to be his friend. Perhaps you should believe him, he said, for his ugly friend's Creole. She is telling you the truth. Sure enough, during all the excitement, chasing the creatures, the little alligator hadn't stuttered a word. Sheepishly, all the creatures went back to where Creole was waiting. Creole said to the alligator, all my fellow creatures of the swamp are sorry to judge you how you look. But if you'll forgive them, they would love to hear you talk of love and happiness and friendship. And the moral of the story is, never judge someone by their looks or a book by its cover, for inside those tattered pages